Welcome inside a very muddy Gillette Stadium here in Foxborough, Massachusetts for the SMX Insider post-race show. A very memorable 12th round of the 2025 Monster Energy AMA Supercross Championship. Lee Diffie, Ricky Carmichael, Will Christian with you, and JT, Jason Thomas. JT, in your life in the sport, how about that?
Wow, this is a night we won't soon forget, but have Ken Roxon here. You got fourth place, and going into the night, we weren't even sure if you were going to race until the last minute. This ankle injury we didn't know too much about. We saw you in pain in qualifying practice, but tell us what your night was like, and did you think for a chance you were going to end up fourth tonight?
No, not really. I mean, anything is possible with these conditions, right? So my ankle has just gotten, it's the same, or I hurt it as I hurt my shoulder, but wasn't paying attention to it. But as I keep putting my foot down and it twists my toe out, I kept hurting it more and more. So in Seattle, I hurt it really bad, and my ankle was ballooned all week. So then in practice today, I caught it again, and it was the worst I've hit it. So I wasn't even honestly going to race because it ain't getting better. It's getting worse. And then with these kind of conditions, it's impossible to not put your feet down. But I was really aggravated about it, super pissed. But I don't know. I ended up coming out here and just giving it a whirl. And, you know, I was third in the last lap. My bike was slowly giving up, which was a bit of a bummer. It just died on me a couple of times and was backfiring and stuff. So ended up losing a couple of spots, past Barsha back, and ended up fourth on the night. So, I mean, I couldn't be more stoked with how the night went. I'm glad I went out here, and this was a brutal race. It really was.
Fourth's a lot better than watching from the motorhome. Congratulations.
That's right. Thank you.
Man, I feel bad for Kenny. Oh, you can see that was emotional.
Highlights of the 450s. Well, this was a low light when everybody knew what the conditions were, but the fans, they were ready for a fun. They knew it was going to be a long day, a long afternoon, long evening, but they were up for it. They knew that they were going to see something special. And that is an understatement.
I mean, I don't know that I've ever seen a crazier main event in my life, and I've been in the SMX Monster Energy Supercross racing for close to 30 years now, and it was just wild. I mean, expect the unexpected, I think, is the theme of the night in treacherous conditions, but a great start from Justin Cooper. He had good starts all night long, and McElrath right there, number 7, and the Cowboy making a crucial pass. Looked like Shane McElrath tried to guard the inside, but just didn't have the advantage. Goes shortly into the lead, and this is where AP was making up a lot of time early on. This is where he made up time on McElrath, and eventually the next lap he gets by Justin Cooper for the lead, and he'll stay there the rest of the race.
Sure did. And then Shane McElrath, who predicted that, he said, wait, I did so well in the heat, why not get on the podium in the main? Well, he did, and he performed so well in the wet in San Francisco last year. He narrowly missed the podium there, but he had his eyes fixed on a podium here tonight in Massachusetts.
And I go back to that incredible heat race win that he had, and how he was able to keep the roll speed and the momentum. It just was on another level compared to the other riders, and he was able to do that in the main event as well, and I think that was one of the reasons that helped him. And the points leader, Coop, when I think about the end result, I can't believe that he was on the podium, especially when I saw this. His bike was smoking, but he's able to remount and keep going.
That was the first of multiple incidents. This was a tricky one involving Chase Sexton. He was already committed to that jump when the Red Cross flag was there, and he leapt over the top of that fallen rider. But to your point in the race call, Ricky, he was too far committed to pull out of that.
And imagine if he did hit the brakes, he's going to land on that rider that is down, and I think he's going to get some grace there. We'll see what happens.
Another incident for Cooper Webb. This is what makes his eventual podium all the more remarkable.
Well, and I don't understand what's incredible. It's a testament to that YZF 450 Yamaha. I thought he was going to torch his engine, but Barsha going down, and Barsha was riding so well in podium position.
This was a huge moment of the 450 main. Chase Sexton charging towards a podium, gets stuck at the finish jump.
Look at that strength to try to get that bike going. I mean, when you go down on the face of a jump, it's so hard to pick that bike up. These things are heavy to begin with. Then you pack them with 30, 40 pounds worth of mud. makes it that much more difficult. At least he kept the bike running.
You just saw the time flashing by and the positions flashing by, but up front, more than 20 seconds out in front, was the cowboy, Aaron Plessinger. Something he questioned whether it would happen this year.
Look at that.
But he fought and rode brilliantly back to victory lane and back to the top step of the podium, somewhere that Shane McElrath had never been on a 450 until tonight.
Finally, we get to pay the respect to that young man for having incredible rides all season long, getting on the podium, and I can't believe that. Not sure if Chase went down again and we missed it, but then Coop is going to go by him, and then he's going to get by Kenny. Kenny was on the sidelines there, trying to get his bike back going, and look at that bike smoking out the bottom, the vent tube. Lucky he made it to the end.
Yeah, maybe it just made it. And then, as he did back in Seattle as far back as 2018, yep, officially a mud specialist is Aaron Plessinger.
That is great.
And he very quickly asked for a new top because that was sodden and he was freezing because it's a cold night here in Foxborough. So a Plessinger, McElrath and Webb podium. Roczen with that gutsy performance. Barsha for a top 5, his second one on the season, which is pretty cool. And it was a night, that incident, that finish line incident that bit Chase Sexton. And Benny Bloss, Colt Nichols, good top 10s, and Logan Leitzel as well. It was all about survival, right?
Oh, I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, that's all you can do.
Well, it's celebrations not only for Red Bull KTM, but it's celebrations for the Quadlock Honda team, and that's where Will is.
That's right, with team manager Martin Davalos now, Lee. Congratulations. I mean, just to see Shane do that, he talked about how much work had gone in, but he gave the team a lot of credit there too, because you know, especially on nights like tonight, we know the importance of the part that you guys play. But just talk to me as a privateer team about being that and those extra challenges that come with that, and what you guys have to do to make tonight happen.
Yeah, thank you, Will. I mean, for us, this is huge. I mean, we're not a 450 team. You know, this came last minute, and we've really put our heads down and got this 450 going. I'm so proud of Shane. He really was a last-minute rider for us. We didn't have a lot of time to test with him. Our previous testing was World Supercross with Joey. We've made a lot of improvements on the motorcycle with him, being patient, and it's paid off tonight. I mean, I know the conditions are not the best for a lot of riders, but I feel like tonight we made a statement. Our motorcycle was strong, and that's the most important thing for me. I'm so proud of everybody at home. All the staff, they work so hard, and this is special for me. I'm getting chill bumps. Yarif, thank you for the opportunity. We work really hard. We're so small, but we're passionate, and I love it.
What are the extra challenges that come with that? You talked about it, keeping the motorcycle going. If you were to name a couple of things that you say that you guys face that the factory teams don't face, what would that be?
Well, there's just a lot of things, you know, keeping the bike cool and water away from it. You know, we cannot afford a DNF, and these are the conditions that, you know, that is easy to do. So tonight was extremely important for us. We are gathering a lot of data, and this is awesome moving forward. So just want to be a team that people really recognized us, and I feel like we've done that the past 3 years, I believe, with the 250 and Max, and we're here to stay.
Congratulations, Martin. Happy for you and happy for the whole team. Go join Shane at the press conference.
Thank you so much, guys.
I like the sound of that. We're here to stay. Great effort to Yarif Konski, Martin Davalos, and the whole Quadlock Honda team. We flashed the points to before. Let's show you again, because it ebbs and flows from 15 down to 8 to 11, back out to 15. Webb has the advantage with 5 to go.
But, you know, we showed the weather graphics not looking hopeful next weekend in Philly. And, you know, he's got 3 more crucial races that makes it, you know, talking about managing championships, these open-air stadiums on the East Coast, it's going to be difficult because it could easily be next weekend like it was tonight.
So it was special. We knew that we had weather It was forecast, and the forecast was correct. We knew that it was going to be one of those nights. It was going to be a rough night for everybody, but it was a highly entertaining night. Where does tonight fit in the big picture? What does the big picture of this championship complexion look like for you? And are we going to look back on tonight and say that's the night that Cooper Webb won it?
Well, there's a lot of moments.
Yep.
I think last weekend was a big win for Cooper to stop that momentum from Chase Sexton, and I can't believe that Cooper got third tonight. I really can't. I can't believe that his bike made it. It was smoking with several laps to go, and I don't know. Maybe he got the signal from his mechanic and saying, "Hey, ease off the clutch. You're overheating." If so, great management and engine preservation and getting that thing to the end, and that's what it means. And I just look at big picture, and I still feel like there's 3 crucial races coming up that he is going to need some help from Mother Nature. Otherwise, it's going to become that much more difficult. We saw tonight as a perfect example of things that can go right and also things that can go wrong as well. And it's just something that you don't want to have while you're trying to manage this point system. And I look at big picture, about 2 more races. If he's able to maintain this 15-point lead, he's going to be in a really good spot.
But Chase Sexton has come back from 15 down. We've seen that in recent history.
Yeah.
So that's an important note. The other important note is Aaron Plessinger becoming the 7th different winner this year, which is just incredible. All right, so we talk about SMX playoffs, and of course, remember the full 31-round season. And at ZMAX Dragway in Charlotte, in Concord, just north of Uptown Charlotte, and then the Dome at America's Center, and then of course at the Strip for the finale, and the playoff bubble. And it's important, you know, when you rack up those points, where are you in the big picture scheme of things? Are you in the 20? Are you outside? Are you looking down the barrel of having to go to that to the LCQ? Where are you in that big picture? And so we've got 5 races left that will paint that picture with more definition as far as the Monster Energy AMA Supercross portion of the SMX World Championship is concerned, as we rejoin JT on this wild night.
Thanks, Lee. Good news is it's raining again down here, so that's a nice change. But I'm standing on the starting line, and one side of that is I didn't want to go any further out because it is an absolute disaster on the other side of the starting gate. So I'm just going to stay right here, but also because the start was so critically important. And you think about how those heat races went. The guy that got out front, they stayed out front, from Maximus Volan to Tom Bialik. It was such a coup to get a good start. Think about Shane McElrath's night. Heat race gets a great start. Main event gets a great start, and he has the best race of his 450 career. So sometimes these mud races, right, it's so much chaos. There's so many variables, but when there's one common denominator, that the start typically leads to a really good finish, you have to do everything you possibly can. And you think about Shane McElrath talked about, I just wanted traction off the grate. If I could get off the grate clean, I knew the rest would take care of itself. And really, the only person I can think of that had a great start and kind of threw it away was RJ Hampshire. So without fail, almost the entire race was decided in the first 10 feet of the race. And I think as we look at Philadelphia next weekend, the riders have to really think about that. What can I do if it's wet? Behind the gate, if the grate is muddy or wet, what can we do to get a better start? Because so much of the result is going to be determined right here.
SMX Next were racing in the mud in Foxborough in Massachusetts, and it was Landon Gordon who got a flyer of a start.
Yeah, what a massive turnaround from how he was riding in qualifying practice. Now he's going to drop it right here. Almost drops it. He saves it. Half drop, I should say. But, man, these riders being put to the test, and what a ride by
Kate Johnson on the 177. He too goes down, which was a theme of the night.
Look, he just chills. Kate kind of just chills. He gets passed by Luke Bowser. Bowser goes by, and bikes start steaming. Look at riders all over the place, but Kate kept his composure, right? He didn't like freak out. There's Gordon up front.
Yeah, he snuck through.
He's back in the lead. He's going to go through what was at one stage, the whoops section.
There's a butt coming.
Yeah, he goes down, and just look at those conditions. I mean, you can't expect too much. And how gnarly it was.
Kate Johnson walked his way through This was a huge night for the SMX Next kids, these young stars of the future, and that was a huge victory for the rider from Texas.
I love it. His interview was great too as well. Look at that smile. Priceless.
Gordon on the podium, Fowler back-to-back podiums.
Yeah.
So we congratulate all of them. It was a tough night, to say the least. And the guy who had never been anywhere other than on the podium, Enzo Temmerman, he had a tougher night, and he finished back in ninth. I've got races to come, Ricky. There's more SMX Next.
Yeah, the championship be next weekend, I believe. Pittsburgh, sorry. Yeah, in 3 weeks. So that'll be SMX Next Championship. That'll be a lot of fun to watch. All the cards on the table, Diff.
And in outdoor, you can catch them at Hangtown and Red Bud and Ironman.
Yep.
And they've been putting on some terrific races. Just super young talent. And look at that, from 4 races, 3 different winners. Let's talk 250s here in Gillette Stadium. When the covers were peeled back, track not too bad, but the rain was relentless. The fans were undeterred. They wanted to come here and see the likes of Tom Vial keep his points lead and maybe become a 6th different winner in the 250 East Division for the 2025 championship. Well, when it was time for the gate to drop, unfortunately, Tom Vial did not feature. RJ Hampshire did, but he went down and took Seth Hammaker with him.
That was total mayhem right there, and I think he hydroplanes a little bit on the wet mud, initiating the turn, that left-hand first turn. And yeah, just lost grip. He takes Hammaker down. Man, I hate it for all of those riders. But this was an absolutely wild main event and an opportunity for a lot of new faces. And it was comforting to see, but it was hard fought for sure. Here early on in the race, leader goes down, and Hymas was close.
Chance Hymas was there. He told everybody that he likes riding in the wet, and that was pretty good. That was some good crystal ball work, because when the time came for him to shine in these tough conditions, he was right there. RJ Hampshire, it was just one of those nights, unfortunately.
It was, but then you look at the points, and we'll get to that a little bit later. It wasn't a bad night when you consider everything, but you know RJ's never going to give up, and it, like Will reported, that Thrasher going down, that was really a rough night for Thrasher, having to go through the LCQ to transfer. But going back to RJ, I mean, it was a good night, and he sounds like he's healthy again.
Wow, talk about eventful for the points leader and reigning champion, Tom Vial.
Yeah.
He did a great job in his heat by winning, but the main event was just the complete opposite. It was rugged, it was rough, and it was just filled with just nightmare stuff like this.
He's over it. I really thought that these conditions would play right into his hand, but boy, was I wrong.
Never before in the history of Supercross in 250s has there been 6 different winners from 6 races to start a season until tonight. And that 6th winner was a first-time winner, Chance Hymas.
Well done. Coming off the ACL repair, little to no riding in the offseason, and gnarly conditions as well. I mean, this is like your worst nightmare if you're coming off an injury. Kenny talked about it. There's Tom Vial.
Stuck in the manager's tower.
Yeah, this is the biggest loser of the weekend. Now his points deficit is gone. He's tied with RJ Hampshire. And again, even though he's tied, I think we see a 7th winner. Could you imagine that?
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't won yet.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. But it was all celebrations for Chance Hymas, and rightfully so. If you're going to get your first win, you do it in those most trying conditions.
Great
Just
job.
incredible.
Yeah, great job for Cullen Park and Linville as well. Gage absolutely doing a great job in treacherous conditions. And it's cool to see them up there.
And Justin Rodbell. Daxton Bennett did it tough, but hung tough to get a top 5. And Lance Kobush, it was an eventful night. Jack Chambers, Mark Finnis ended up starting the day being the fastest qualifier. Seth Hammaker rallied for a top 10 just ahead of Preston. And then
Vial.
Thrasher outside the top 10. Where's Tom Vial?
Dead last, 22nd. That's crazy.
Ricky, you mentioned the points earlier. It has had a massive shake-up because Tom Vial came in with a 10-point advantage. There's now 10 points covering the top 5. We couldn't ask for it to be any closer.
Remember when we showed that shot of RJ laying on the ground, picking his bike up, and it was a rough night. But when you look at big picture,
he's only 3 back.
Yeah, he's right there. And then we go to an East-West showdown. I mean, this is any of these guys' championship, and it's a lot of fun. And again, I think the biggest loser tonight, sadly, was Tom Vial. And I thought, yeah, again, I'll repeat myself. I thought these conditions played right into his hand. Boy, was I wrong.
Well, and the heat was proof of that, right?
Yeah. And so he's got some work to do, but I still like his consistency. I just think the biggest wild card the next 3 weeks while we're on the East Coast is the rain, honestly. So it's going to be really hard to predict. If we get some good weather, hopefully, and everybody's living right, then we can start making some more predictions.
Just the quality of races that we've seen and enjoyed this year in either 250 East or West divisions, and then we get to see them all come together again next week in that next showdown. The last showdown was won by the East.
Yeah.
You think it's going to switch? I know you don't do predictions,
but you know what? I mean, I think the thing about it, both divisions, 250 East Division and 250 West Divisions, have riders plenty capable of winning the races. So I think that now that you're getting later into the season, you're going to see guys maybe play it more conservative if they're in a championship position, because they have to do that. There's just too much to lose. And then on the opposing side of that, you're going to see guys take chances. So we'll just have to wait and see. But it's always fun. It's a flex moment for a lot of these riders, and they're very energetic, and it's a lot of fun. But I will tell you, leaving here tonight, Diff, I never expected this outcome and how exciting it would be.
And one of the storylines this year, both in 250 and 450, about which riders are out or how many riders are out, that hasn't been a story because the racing has been so incredible and so unpredictable. And the manufacturers' points, they bear witness to that as well.
Right.
Because the points from tonight in the 250, of course, maximum. So good work there. And as far as Shane McElrath, he contributed on the 450 front. So it was a great night for Honda over KTM and Yamaha. For the season-long points, it looks like this, with Honda winning the night.
Yeah.
For the season, it goes towards the overall look.
There we go.
And there it is. Yamaha 30 ahead of KTM.
Yamaha's got strength in numbers, though. I mean, that's our Yamaha team.
Yes. And Cooper Webb came up with that unexpected. He was shocked that he was able to work his way to the podium, so he contributed towards that. And speaking of Yamaha, let's have a look at the Yamaha track map next week in Philly.
Well, just so you guys, looks kind of fun. Look at that. Got a cross section. See where that sand section is there over the tunnel jump, kind of bears to the right. Similar to this track, it looks like, as far as the actual layout goes. Always like when we had the tunnel, it gives the SMX track crew a little more options to change things, but it does look like a similar layout here tonight. But you know what? I'm gonna go back to my racing days. I never really paid attention to the track map for the most part, because you don't know how the dirt is, and we don't know
about
what
the weather
the skies are gonna do. So tune in.
And speaking of tuning in, this is how you can watch. And it's an earlier program, 9:30 a.m. Eastern. Race Day Live kicks things off. You'll see the gate drop in Philly on network television on NBC at 3 p.m. Eastern. And wherever you're watching outside of the US, of course, the SMX Video Pass. That does it for us here in Massachusetts.
I can't believe it, dude.
Hey, we had the easy part, mate. We had the easy part. Everybody down on the ground. Well, there were a lot of riders who spent a lot of time on the ground. There were 2 new winners on the season, a first-time winner in Chance Hymas, and the Cowboy got to ride high again Aaron Plessinger shows us what a master of the mud he is. See you in Philly, everyone.